What's up, cowboys, rednecks, whatever you are, cowgirls? I sound like I smoke a lot, and it's not getting better, so this is what we're gonna have to deal with for now. But happy International Women's Day! It is so exciting for me. Like, I just love celebrating women. Like, we are the best things ever. I don't know if you guys have seen that Nike ad. Like, I saw it on Twitter. It goes a little something like this.
If we show emotion, we're called dramatic. If we want to play against men, we're nuts. And if we dream of equal opportunity, delusional.
I loved it. Like, it actually, I was just so determined right after I watched that to go out and like show someone that I can do something. Like, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but that's just how I felt. So I was watching that ad today during lunch because why not? And I like came up with the idea for this video that I'm gonna like be talking about like successful women and like what they face to get where they are. So enjoy. Also, before we get started, my car's in park. Like, I'm not moving, so I don't have to have my seatbelt on. But back when I was in biology, this was like 2 years ago, we learned about Rosalind Franklin, and if you don't know her, she's the one that has the photo 51, which shows us that DNA is in the form of a double helix. So with that photograph, it was possible that the double helix could be drawn like how it looks in real life, because up to this point, without this photo, no one actually knew what it looked like. Like, there were assumptions and theories, but there wasn't an exact. And thanks to Rosalind Franklin, there was. So when she got this job, the man that she was working with came back and immediately thought that she was an assistant just because she was a woman. Now, remember, this takes place in the 1950s, so I understand that. Obviously, he assumed it was an assistant. I don't know, it just upsets me that there are, like, men in society just think women are less and do less and are capable of less simply just because they are a woman. Because of Rosalind Franklin, we have photo 51. But, like, I don't know, it's just upsetting to me that she was seen, like, someone thought she was an assistant. I don't know. It's the people that drew the double helix or whatever, they found out it's a double helix, like, didn't even give her credit, like, barely any credit. So they actually ended up winning a Nobel Prize after she died. And, like, she wasn't even there to see that the men who had taken her work won something because of her work. Like, without her, it wouldn't have been possible to show the double helix. That, I don't know. And my mother is my #1 role model. She is so strong. She's been in athletics since forever. She's always talked about, like, growing up as an athletic child, going to college, coaching, being an athletic director, all that stuff. So she has always been, like, tough and strong, especially in a place where men are seen as more powerful. So Billie Jean King, for those of you who don't know, is a tennis player from a while ago. She is mainly known for, at least by me, that she won the Battle of the Sexes. And if you don't know what that is, this man was like, I could beat her. So at the time, she was the #1 professional tennis player. And he was like, I could beat her. She's a girl. Like, that's just the only reason he gave as to why he could beat her. So she went through so much sexism and discrimination for that match. People saying, oh, like, no way you should even accept this match, like, you're going to lose just because you are a woman. Now, remember, she was the #1 tennis player for women at that time. So, well, they played, and guess what? She won. Of course she did. Because you can't just assume that you're going to beat someone just based on their gender. Like, that just like saying that men are smarter than us, that they have better grades, they deserve better grades, they deserve better spots on teams, stuff like that. Like, those assumptions, those are 100 years behind where we are today. Like, I just can't. Also, Oprah Winfrey. She has like an amazing backstory. I love Oprah Winfrey, and as you probably all know her from her show, she had the highest rated African American show in history, and for a while she was the only African American billionaire. So she was born to a single mother in poverty, and she grew up in a neighborhood in Milwaukee. She experienced so many hardships. When she was 9 years old, she was raped, and when she was 14 years old, she had a baby. I am 17 and I can't even imagine having a baby. But she was 14. Like, okay, one, do you know anyone that's 14 that's pregnant? Do you know anyone that's 14? Like, can you see them taking care of a baby? And then imagine them being 9. Could you imagine, I don't know, your 9-year-old brother or sister being raped? Like, that's just how she grew up. So she is seen to be the most influential person of all time. That's pretty impressive. Okay, I don't even think a man, given 100 men, I don't think they could do that. Given 100 women, I don't think they could do that either. She just came out of something like, I don't even know how she did it. She is definitely one of the most strongest people alive. If that's what she came out of, like a poor background, had a baby, that baby died. Like, I couldn't do that. I don't know anyone that could do that. But she did that, and she made it into, like, she grew her life out of that. So that just shows that no matter, like, where you come from, you can always get better. Like, you don't have to settle for what you come from. What you come from does not define who you will be. However, today we still face many issues. For example, when people say, oh, are you on your period? Like, that just bothers me so much. Because when a woman does something out of emotion, it's immediately referred to that she did it because she's on her period. Like, let's say a boy was talking bad about you and you go up and yell at him. People are going to be like, oh, are you on your period? Like, that is so upsetting because women can feel emotions and women can be aggressive and angry. They don't have to be the pretty little dolled up girl that you always want them to be. But if a man did something out of anger or emotions, people would see it as him standing up for himself, or sticking up for his turf, like not letting anything get to him. Yeah, but when girls do it, it's seen as something bad. Like, that still happens today. It is 2019, and in high school, I hear that. Like, that shouldn't be a thing anymore. When women start getting interested in something, it's seen as less to society. Many jobs are seen as less just because there is a ton of women in the workforce for that one job. Like, that's not fair. You can't say something, let's say in a sample, 10 men work as, I don't know, chemists. And then eventually it's 5 women and 5 men. And before you're like, oh my God, those 10 men, they were so awesome. Like, that's such a good workforce. But now that half of them are women, people are like, it's a job for women. Like, you know, but you can't say that. Because just before, it was all men. Like, it's the same job. Women deserve the same respect when they do the same job as someone else. Also, what I have seen a lot is that one woman does something and it is seen for the representation of all. I hear people saying, oh my God, like, women's sports are so boring. No, they are not, actually. Women's sports are super exciting. I love watching women's sports. And don't get me wrong, like, I love watching men's sports too. But I love women's sports. Also, along with that topic, like driving. Because women are terrible drivers, aren't they? Maybe not all women are terrible drivers, okay? Like, sure, I will admit I am a horrible driver. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. But I know so many boys who are horrible drivers, and one girl can do something bad while they're driving, and it's because she's a girl that she's a bad driver. 5 boys can do something bad while driving, and it's like, oh, it's just an accident. Boys can be boys. Yeah, well, maybe those boys should start being held responsible for those accidents. Girls can't be blamed on everything, now can they? The last thing I want to talk about is how the competition in society. It is shoved down girls' throats that they have to be prettier or skinnier to be better. That, like, they can't get far in life, like, just using their brains. Whereas men, like, they can become super successful, being super smart. Yeah, girls, yeah, good luck with that. You may get through the society like that, but society forces. Like, look at the influencers, the Kardashians. They are so slim, thick, and now, like, girls are not seen beautiful unless they are like that, unless they have a body image that boys want. Well, maybe girls' bodies don't have to be fit for boys. Maybe a girl's body can be just how she wants it. You know, I don't know. Like, I just think there's so much competition. Like, girls are always competing for a boy, or like, I just don't think that's fair, especially in today's society. There's someone running and this is so awkward. Okay, that was really awkward. So yeah, all I'm just trying to say is, like, all of these things are said about women, but, like, there's no proof. Like, women are bad drivers. Yeah, but so are men. Or, like, women's sports are boring. No, they're not. You know, or, like, women can't be successful. Yes, they can. Like, just everything that is said about, like, being a girl, it just aggravates me. And, like, that's just all I have to say, because, like, I love boys and I love girls and I genuinely love everyone, but just hearing things come out of people's mouths sometimes just make me upset, because girls don't deserve to be treated how they are just because they're not they're not in society's eyes pretty, like, they're not skinny. That's just not fair to me. So I don't know. Comment down below what you think. And yeah, we'll be back next time for more.